What goes up must come down, with gold peaking at over £1,770 per ounce and silver bullion almost reaching that milestone of £20 per ounce. It's got me thinking, things that go up must come back down. Are we experiencing a bit of a bull run right now? And is that going to lead us into an unexpected recession, which could dramatically affect your investments? Okay, so recently I received a fantastic comment from one of my very, very loyal subscribers. A brilliant comment, and it got me wondering, is he right? Is there a recession around the corner? Well, he thinks so, and it's hard to disagree with him. Inflation is rife in the UK, and things are historically very, very expensive. And a good way to prove that point is because we know that when there's economic uncertainty and instability in the market, precious metals tend to rocket up in value. And as we know right now, gold and silver have indeed rocketed up. That's great if you're currently holding a pretty big investment portfolio of commodities like silver and gold. But if you're buying, it makes it a difficult decision to really let go of that button and purchase your items. I think if you're in it for the long run, a lot of you will think, sod it, I'm going to buy them anyway. I'm holding for a long term. I know that gold goes up like 9% a year. I'm not too worried that the price is heavy right now because, like the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. And that will be true in 20 years from now. So how is it going to work? Is there a secret recession coming? Are these indicators of gold and silver peaking? Is it a sign that there may be some instability in the investment markets? Well, it's a possibility, if I'm honest with you, and I can see some evidence there for that. We look at the S&P 500, it's absolutely performing fantastically. Great for me, great for anyone holding an index fund like maybe a Vanguard S&P. You're getting great yields of profit on your investment right now, but it does leave me wondering, is it going to drop off? Are we in a sort of ghost bull run right now that we're becoming used to? You know, the growth right now, the yields are being very consistent, very strong, and they have been for the last few months. So I think it becomes easy to get complacent and to assume that they're going to keep going up. Same with gold, silver, and like I say, the S&P 500. It's difficult to say. No one knows, and I think anyone who says they know what's going to happen in the market are full of shit, because I don't personally believe they know. Now, don't get me wrong, there are indicators and there are people who are very, very experienced in specific sectors of the investment market, so they can give a better indication to what may happen, but no one really knows. I think the only thing you can do is diversify your investments, spread it between, index funds, multiple global sectors, the UK, America, Europe, Asia. Then you've got precious metals like silver and gold, which is going to preserve your wealth, hedge against inflation. And then you've got other investments like property, which will generate you passive income. But again, that has its own instabilities and high management risks, especially if a huge economic recession happens like it did in 2008. There's no doubt property is going to get heavily affected by that. Could create good opportunities to buy and invest in property, but it could also mean that, properties are too expensive to run. It's too hard to keep hold of them. We're seeing that right now with interest rates. So for me, I am going to continue holding vast amounts of commodities like precious metals to preserve my wealth, to hedge against inflation. For me, it's the backbone of my investment portfolio. I love it. I feel like there's great security in it. With my S&P 500, my FTSE UK investments, I, in my mindset, allocate that money to be completely gone. In other words, I invest in the S&P, the FTSE 100 regularly every single month, and I'm going to continue doing that in its downturns and its high periods throughout the next 2 decades. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I believe in it in the long term. But I have mentally taught myself that that money is gone. If anything happens to it, I have to be mentally okay with that. If the market crashes and the US economy plummets, which is very unlikely, or the UK economy plummets, which is still unlikely, but more likely than it happening to the US, I want to be able to mentally stomach that bitter pill to swallow. So for me, all my other investments, I accept the fact that there is volatility there, that there is the possibility that they could crash. We could see a 2008 recession hit and they could plummet. So that leaves me back to gold bullion and also silver. For me, that is my wealth preservation device, my protection against all else in case it fails. Hence, again, why I always say gold for me is the backbone of my portfolio. It's been around for 4,000 years, and I think it's going to be around for a lot longer in terms of my lifetime and possibly thereafter. Again, when we see economic instability and uncertainty in the markets, it increases in price. And that's the great thing about precious metals. Even in the strong times of the market being safe, secure and consistent, gold and silver hold their own weight in value, excuse the pun, and they perform greatly. And then on the flip side, when the markets downturn and there's economic instability, gold and silver rocket up. So how can you lose with gold? I mean, yes, it doesn't pay dividends, it doesn't pay interest. It's stale and it's not going to make you rich, but it certainly is going to keep you rich. So in regards to John's comment, I think it was a fantastic, thought-provoking comment that got me thinking, got the brain working, and it's making me think maybe I should start going a little bit more heavy into precious metals to really keep the proportion of my investments in correlation to be, protected from each other. Because if I'm investing heavily into property, that's costing me a lot of capital, then if that goes Pete Tong, I maybe would be wishing that I put more money into precious metals to protect myself. So I think it's very wise to not overcommit yourself and to diversify. So John's comment is absolutely spot on. I think try not to overcommit yourself when investing. It's easy to get tunnel vision on certain investments that you believe in, that you're passionate about, because there's been growth in that time period when you're investing. But let's not forget what can happen, and let's try and be open-minded to the possibilities of making great investments, but also losing some of those investments. So going forward, I'm going to try and not be too heavily tunnel focused on one specific investment, and I'm going to really try and utilize commodities like gold and silver to protect my entire portfolio. That may mean I have to start putting more money into precious metals to have that backbone protection. But if that's the case, then so be it, because that essentially is what it's there for. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really found it quite interesting to talk about this topic. It's not something that's regularly brought up. A lot of the content is, reviewing precious metals or certain pieces. But for me personally, I really enjoy getting into the nitty gritty of the investment world, what can happen and what is happening. So yeah, overall, a fun video today. Let me know if you've enjoyed it in the comment section below, and thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you all in the very next episode. Bye-bye. Well, thank you very much for watching till the end of the episode. And for your loyal time, which I know is extremely valuable, I wanted to share something with you that I think may be very interesting. So if you've watched all the way till the end, I would assume that you've very much enjoyed the episode. So maybe you'll consider becoming a premium future investor here on YouTube. By joining the exclusive club, not only do you get priority reply to your comments, exclusive behind the scenes access to content, but you also get your YouTube channel linked in every single video description. And if that's not enough, you also get automatic entry every single month into awesome prize giveaways to reward your loyalty by being a premium future investor. And as you can see here, we've got some of the prizes coming up in the next few draws. We've got this 1 ounce 2023 Queen Elizabeth Britannia, an absolutely stunning piece. We've also got a 2022 1 ounce Canadian maple, which I absolutely love. And we've got some extra goodies like this Winston Churchill commemorative numismatic coin and some custom cotton Tavex Bullion gloves. So if you want to be entered to have the chance to win these awesome prizes, consider becoming a channel member and supporting me here on future investments. Thank you very much for your valuable time. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode.